Alrighty, we're in Florida. There's palm trees. Dawn laughs at me every time I get to Florida because that's the first thing I say. There's palm trees. We're in Florida. So, yeah. Alright, we're in Florida. We're at Jacksonville Welcome Center. And I got a few questions in driving these guys. These Dodge chassis Theos, T-H-O-S, Theos, or whatever you want to call it, Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, I don't know what you call them, Ethos, Ethos, I don't care. In either case, yeah, I've come across a couple of things, and this is the question mainly because we're in the process of looking at buying a truck later on in the future, in the near future. But the thing of it is that if I was to judge this Dodge to be all Dodges, then that would be one of the things that I've got questions about. So here's the first question. Let's get inside the cab here. And right up here inside this cab, there is this little arm sticks out here. This is the cruise control. Okay? This thing is a pain in the you-know-what. Alright? It is flimsy. It goes every different direction. I mean, I could even turn it and everything. So, I'm not sure what the deal is here. It's taken me a while to figure out because there's a button on top here that says on-off limiter. See if I can get the camera to get down in here. Alright. So, on-off and limiter, and therefore that little switch goes sideways. Up top here it says cancel, pull towards you, so that's what I thought it was. But then my wife pointed out there's a button that's underneath here. Yeah, right there, that's the cancel button. So yeah, this thing does not make sense to me in many ways. There's a little light that comes on right here when you actually get this turned on. Then you got your plus for resolution up, or resume up, and then set is down, or the little piece right here, not down. You don't really move this at all, even though it's so freaking flimsy. Somebody's going to grab it and try to shift blinkers and all that good stuff and break it off. Then it's got a memory down here, a memory 1 and 2. I don't know anything about that. It doesn't say anything on the bottom, I can see. So, took me a while to figure out this setting because you got to turn this on, and then you got to go up here and hit either the resume plus or the set minus to set the cruise control to what speed you want. So this is really flimsy. I really dislike this. I want to know why they chose, and of course my steering wheel is turned upside down, but yet why they chose not to put it on the steering wheel. Steering wheel is so much easier. You're having to take your hand off the steering wheel to work it, and it's in a position that when I'm sitting here, okay, and even though this bar is right here right this moment, when I'm sitting here, you don't see this thing at all. I mean, even if you turn this, you cannot see this thing hardly at all. Okay, I'm going to start this up here so I can put the steering wheel correctly so you can see when you're driving. Okay, yeah. All right, so as I'm sitting here, you can see if I move this camera up here to where my eyes are and I'm looking straight down, I am looking right at this part right here. Okay, I'm not seeing any other part of that piece. I'm having to squat down to see it here. I'm having to go over here to see it. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. Camera's not focusing on it. There you go. Yeah, I'm having a really difficult time, and then I have to reach down here and play with it and figure out what's actually doing what, and hit these buttons, and my fingers are so big that I can end up hitting 2 or 3 and always hitting that cancel button because I'm trying to grab hold of it to actually hit this, and I'm like, damn it. So yeah, this thing is stupid. I can't think of any other words for it. Okay? Cruise control on a lever, not on the steering wheel, is the most idiotic thing you could do. Alright? So that's right off the bat, the very big thing that I've run into. So I got a trucker coming by us here. Actually, we've been playing tag with this trucker for a while. No. He's been passing us, we've been passing him. He's continuing on. We're going to stay here tonight. It's 5 o'clock or so. 5 o'clock our time. Okay. Let me look. 5:46 our time. Alright. I don't know what time it is here in the Jackson section. I don't know if this is an hour behind us still or not. But in either case, alright. So that's it for the controller of the cruise control. Now, here's the other thing. And let me get my phone turned around here. Here's the next thing. When driving this with cruise control on, I have turned off every collision assistant, every drive assistant I can think of. If I'm driving down the road, this thing will literally turn off if I come too close to the dotted line in the middle or the solid line to the right. Either one of those white lines, if I come just a hair bit close, and I can look at my rear view mirrors and out those two side mirrors, and I can still see the dotted line, and I'm not on it, it will turn off the cruise control. You're just driving along, and all of a sudden you go from 65 miles an hour down to 55 miles an hour. No brake or anything to that effect. It just turns it off. So the vehicle behind you doesn't know you're slowing down. They just all of a sudden know that you're coming right up on you. Okay? If I touch those lines, it administers a brake. Well, that automatically turns off cruise control. And of course, they do see the brake light on the behind. But come on. I mean, the minute you do anything, here's another thing. If there's a dip in the road, like the road dips a little bit and you can see those skid marks from where truckers have had that, that little dip there. If this vehicle hits that dip, cruise control puts on the brakes for you right off the bat. You're 65, you're in traffic, you're 65, everybody's 65, you put on the brakes. Nobody else does. No warning whatsoever. That's a bad situation. Here's another thing. I'm cruising along, I'm doing 65. Yeah, we had this thing set between 61 and 65 this entire trip. And I'm cruising along, and a trucker passes me. The wind current from him hitting the front of my bumper and pushing me just a hair bit over, not into the line. I didn't touch the line. I was watching, and this happened more than once, so I had plenty of times to watch. And once again, the sensors pick up an irregularity and shut you off and hit the brake. You're just driving along. Okay, now whenever you got the speed assistance on or something to that effect, and correction, I really didn't have speed assistance on, but yet the speed limit dropped from 65 down to 55, this thing puts on its brakes the minute it thinks it's hit 55. Wait a second, it thought it hit 55 apparently several times. When I looked at the Garmin said the speed limit was 60, and Google said it was 65. So why did this thing slow down in the middle of somewhere? I don't know. But it has done this many times. This is one of the most idiotic things I've come across with this cruise control. No, going up a hill, no, it is a cruise control. I mean, this thing has 7,000 RPMs on it. All right? Cruise control will hit up to 6,500. And I have to slam on the brakes to shut off the cruise control. No, because it looks like it's still wanting to go further. And I'm like, whoa, stop. Okay? Yeah. I mean, it literally, now if you go down a hill, if it's a steep hill, because we did hit a couple of them in Alabama and coming out of Tennessee to Alabama, I think, yeah. Coming from there, we hit a couple hills going down that was 4% and 5%, and not the 6 or 7% that's out west, but yet the 4 or 5%. And as soon as you get over top of that hill, once again, that brake kicks in and wants to slow you down, and that turns off the cruise control. Once the cruise control is turned off, well, I had it set for 62 miles an hour at that time, and it turned off the cruise control, and the next thing I knew, I was doing 70 miles an hour because it turned it off, and it no longer administered any brakes. Real smart. And here I am hitting the brakes to slow it down and tap on them a little bit just to keep, in other words, I'm not going to burn them up or anything to that effect. So, I mean, what's the deal here, Dodge? If your trucks are like this, you're out of the runner. You have a beautiful Cummins engine. God, do I wish you had an Allison transmission, but you have a beautiful Cummins engine. Does wonders. It's a workhorse. I love it. It's got a lot of pluses to it. Everywhere you look at it, it is a major plus. But if your driving convenience is a pain in the ass, I don't want nothing to do with you. So that's the key. All right, moving on. What else was there? All right, there was an issue with the rear view camera in these things. The rear view camera, I don't know who that's set up through. Is that through the Thor Motor Coach Company, or is that through Dodge? But in this thing, because you can't see out the back, as you can see here, you can't see out the back. Okay. All right, my wife's sitting back there in her shorts because it's nice and hot here. The thing of it is that you can't see out the back. Well, this rear view mirror right here, why do we have it? Oh, that's because it came in the vehicle before Thor got it, and Thor ain't gonna take that shit out, okay? Because somebody says you gotta have 3 mirrors, even though one of them doesn't work. And I think the law actually says you have to have a 180 degree, so that means you got one mirror over there, that's 90. One mirror over here, there it is, that's 90. That equals 180. Okay, so there's where you're at. Now, you have a rear view camera that's right here. And here's the thing. If I push the button for it to come on, it comes on and turns right back off. It doesn't stay on. It has a delay. Now, here's the funny part. I hit it to turn on while I was driving slow through a parking lot, and it stayed on for good 5 minutes. But as soon as you get out there on the highway and you're driving, you just want to double check your mirrors and just verify what you're seeing. Okay, so you reach over and you hit that camera, and there's a white bar that comes up and says, "Please be aware of your surroundings." That limits your seeing of surroundings, because you're looking directly behind you, because in your rearview mirrors you can only see directly behind you to the side of what you see, and you have to go to the other mirror and look at that one to see that side of it. But if you was to turn on the camera, you'd see the center of it. You could see exactly a lot more to the detail. All right, that gives you a little bit more security, insurance towards what you're looking at. But yet they fixed it to where by the time the white bar disappears, you got less than 3 seconds if you're driving on the highway. Now, if you're driving slow, it stays on longer. But it doesn't stay on for permanently. It still shuts itself off. So what's the purpose? Only for the rear view backing up, and that's it? Do you think that if you have it on, that it's going to get somebody to watch it continuously and they get into an accident? I don't think so. I think it would be treated like the rear view mirror. It would be something that's looked at, double checked with a side mirror, and continued on. If you think otherwise, let me know. Okay, I'm going to insert a little clip I recorded while I was driving. Yes, I know, blah 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 blah, yak yak yak. Everybody give me your opinions. No, don't record while you're driving. No 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 no. Don't hold the camera while you're driving. No 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 no. Keep both hands on the wheel. Wait a second, keep both hands on the wheel? Why the hell do we put freaking cup holders in the damn vehicles if you got to keep both hands on the wheels? All right, so let's be realistic there. All right, alright, we're recording this section of the video for me driving, of course, but yet there's a section on here that says you can look at you can have a rear view camera up the problem I run into that happens to be is that, let me show you here, when I go to push on this here, and yeah, you got to push it like 6-7 times. It does not register you touching it one time. As you can see, there's a white bar at the top, so gotta wait for that to disappear. Oh, now I can see the whole view, but this picture only lasts a certain amount of time. Oh, there it goes. That's it. That's the amount of time you got to look at it. So driving along, this becomes a pain in the butt if you try to look out the back besides your 2 side mirrors. Okay, so yeah, this is an issue. Continue with the rest of the video. So let's see here. What else was there? My list over here. Give me 1 second here. Let me grab my list. See my list. Let's see here. Transmission, Dodge rear camera, flimsy cruise control sensitivity, covered that. Okay, transmission. Here's my question. I have questions about transmission. All right, here's what we got. The transmission, I'm about to go get the transmission oil fluid changed. I asked for a transmission flush, and the Chevy dealer said they don't recommend flushing. All right, I talked to another dealer. They said the same thing. And if you know me, you know I always check. If I've got 2 that match, okay, let me find one that's going to be odd. Well, I did find one. I took only one more phone call, and I called another dealership and asked them about it. And they said, yeah, we do flushes all the time. All right, does your flushes mean that you go through and flush it completely to where there's nothing left in the reservoir or anything inside the transmission, and then you put in the new? And the guy said, yeah, that's usually what a flush means. I was like, okay, just making sure, clarifying, because I asked for a flush and I got told it'll be a flush, but it's not really the full flush. It's only a change. So, and I asked what difference between prices are, and they're the same. Okay, anyway, so let's skip the pricing point. Somebody key in, I'm not a mechanic. Can I take an engine apart? Sure I can. Can I put it back together? Hell no. So I'm not a mechanic. Therefore, with that being said, I need somebody that knows this a little bit more than I do and tell me, is there a handicap to flushing versus changing? Have you heard anything? And supposedly this is coming from Chevy higher ups that have sent out the memo and saying no more flushing, do changes but not flushes, so forth, because we're about to have that done to the Malibu. So hence the reason why I'm throwing this question out there. What's the deal? Somebody give me a heads up. Now, the other question I've got in reference to transmission happens to be, as you heard me say, the 7,000 RPMs here. I can remember back being young and having my grandfather, Papa, he would yell at me if I was driving the old Ford F100, 3-speed on column, a little hard, and he would say, don't let them RPMs get up to more than 50%. No, make sure that you always stay at 50% or less. 60% is your final spot. If you have to go above it, if you make it to 60% and you see that you're going above that, you need to drop the gears down to where it drives extremely slow, or whatever you need to do. Okay. I heard that while I was being raised. I recently just heard it again, and I totally forgot about it, to be honest with you. I don't deal with it that much, but yet now dealing with driving over the road and going up and down some of these hills and so forth, going out to California, going Washington, going all those places, Idaho and those places, and then of course coming down here. There's some hills here, and yeah, mentioning hills here, I mean the slightest little hill, this damn thing kicks into another gear. And I'm like, really? I can pull a wagon up this damn thing faster. Anyway, yeah, so that's where we sit at. Is that still a thing of transmissions Try not to be above 50% if at all possible. If you have to, 60% is your final cutoff. Make sure you downshift your gears, whether you're going down the hill or up the hill, all those different things. My question is that still a thing? Still a thing on transmission? Questions on cruise control. Does Dodge trucks have the same problem, to where they're shutting off just because they don't like the wind of a 18-wheeler passing them? Jesus Christ, that would really piss me off. You wouldn't believe how much it irritates me just in these things. So yeah, let me know. There's my questions, there's my points, and we'll go from there. Now I gotta figure out which pins to plug into for my camera, so that way I can plug my cameras into my camera and have it constantly on inside the Chevy Malibu, because I don't know which fuse box to plug it into so it stays constantly on. Anyway, there you go. Peace, love, and jelly beans, people. Subscribe, like, dislike, and like again. And notifications bell. Don't forget that notifications bell. You gotta know when I post, because I only post once in what, great moons. Let's see here. Great balls of fire. Let's see here. How often do I post? Oh, I just posted the other day for one on bringing these guys. Before that, it's probably a week. So you won't get many notifications, just whenever I post. Boy, that sounded really bad, didn't it? Anyway, all right. Peace, love, and jelly beans, people. And one last look at the Florida Jacksonville rest stop. Beautiful palm trees, beautiful day. It's a little breezy out here. Dawn's unit there. We're sitting over here in the trucker section, parked in these little no parking zone, I guess. I don't know. It didn't say no parking, but yet it's probably there just to make sure truckers can make that turn. No, they can definitely make this turn. You can see where the lines are worn out and so forth. I do not see any spots out here where a trucker has been parked, so that's a good thing. But I do see tire tracks of being brought across here, so I'm cool with that. Yeah, truckers come around this corner. I know their trailer's going to come in a little bit. That's the reason why I didn't pull any further forward. No, if they come in where we're at right here, let's see here, back up. If they come into where we're at right there, they're going to definitely run over these guys. So we know that's the thing. You can see where their tracks are going across here. So if their tracks are going across here, it's definitely coming right out in here. So there you go. That's where we parked. No, questionable on Dawn's, but yet we're good with it too. And once again, palm trees. We're in Florida. Ha, yes. Now it's time to go find an alligator or two or three. There's a golf course back there or something. I don't know. I guess that's just a reservoir area. Well, it's dry right now, so there's no alligators. Ha. Okay. Wish there was. I would go find one. All right, we're going to go to Everglades next after we deliver. Talk to you.